What's up world, this is Saul V with the Porsche Macan project, and today we're going to be working on the rear brakes on the car. We're going to be changing them and also changing the rotors, and this is the DIY on how to do it, or at least my take on it. So hopefully you'll be able to learn from it, learn from my frustrations, avoid them, and learn a little bit about how to work on your car, and then avoid having to pay the dealer ridiculous amount of money to do something that you can do yourself. So we believe in you. Wrench on. Okay, so here are the parts that we're going to be needing. A breaker bar, something to be able to torque it to specs, some gloves, since I've been getting hazed so much on the forums about me not using gloves. These to take out the wheels. We're gonna need a couple of these. I believe we're gonna need a 13 and a 15, if I remember correctly. If we need more, I'll update it, but this is what I need so far. You definitely need one of those if you don't want your back to hurt the next day. The brake kit is gonna come with this, your sensors, your brackets, and all the things that you need to be able to finish the job. The grease that goes into the job, lubricants, and finally your slotted rotors, some water to hydrate, and my son here to help me do the job. What's up, Dominic? And the most important thing is this little tool to be able to release the rear parking brake. So I'll go in a minute on how to do that in here. So let's get to it. Essentially, it goes right up here. There you go. That's a healthy sound. Basically, what you want to do is release the rear parking brakes. So, enter. We gotta turn the ignition to on. Done. Okay, first we need to remove the brake sensor and the cable for the electronic parking brake. Okay, just hold pressure there. Did it break? Oh shit, it did break. It broke.
What is that?
The bolt?
For the brake?
Yeah. Damn. So moral of the story, this doesn't lefty-loosey, it's the opposite.
So you should tighten it.
Whoops. Well, we'll figure out if we can get it off. We're gonna keep going. gonna place that there, and then we have to take this mechanism out. All right, so basically untighten these. You gotta use some sort of breaker bar, and for sure you have to use 18mm socket. This one you could use a standard one. This one I recommend getting a longer socket just so you have more leverage, but I was able to make do. Okay, once we get these bolts out, we slide this mechanism and basically slide them out. These are your old brakes, and this is the other one. As you can see, the rust is real. Let's do the honors. Okay, so now we gotta replace this bracket for the new ones. Slide them out. And basically the new one goes in here. Slide them to the back and basically just give yourself some room so you can slide them back in. And these go just like that. You would push them whenever you change the rotor, and then you have to put the brake sensor back in here. So, but next we're definitely going to do the rotor, put the sensor. Now we're using the silicone brake component or lubricant that is provided to us by Power Stop. And no, we're not endorsed by Power Stop. We just like their products. And basically sit there, and then we'll have to get a replacement for this one because we broke it. So we have to go to the dealer. Alright, next we have to use a T30 bit to be able to get this removed. Alright, so thanks to our friends over at AutoZone, we were able to rent this 2721 7-ton reversible puller that's going to help us get this rotor out without any complication. Alright, this basically holds all 3 points in place, and then when you apply torque over here and you turn it, essentially it applies enough force that it pries it out. Perfect catch. Rotor out. It's rusty. Then we're gonna have to scrub all the rust out of there and clean it up real good before we can put some anti-seize so it's easier to remove the rotor next time around. Next we have to put some anti-seize after the rotor, it's all cleaned up. So go ahead. Just put a little bit around it and then spread it out.
Is it in?
Yep. Yeah. You just have to line that screw right there.
Yeah.
And then you just have to line that screw right there. And then you just have to line that screw right there. And then you just have to line that screw right there. And then you just have to line that screw right there. And then you just have to line that screw right there. And then you just have to line that screw right there. And then you just have to line that screw right there. And then you just have to line that screw right there. And then you just have to line that screw right there. And then you just have to line that screw right there. And then you just have to line that screw right there. And then you just have to line that screw right there. And then you just have to line that screw right there. And then you just have to line that screw right there. And then you just have to line that screw right there. And then you just have to line that screw right there. And then you just have to line that screw right there. And then you just have to line that screw right there. And then you just have to line that screw right there. And then you just have to line that screw right there. And then you just have to line that screw right there. And then you just have to line that screw right there. And then you just have to line that screw right there. And and then you should be good. Okay, once you put it back, you have to align those two over there to be able to slide the screw and that screw in place so it can hold this whole mechanism in place. Alright, so you torque it to 40 Newton meters. So go ahead and torque those first. Basically going to simplify the explanation on how to take all this apart. I already did it. I'm just going to give you little cliff notes. Basically, you have to unhook the sensor, the brake pad sensor. Sorry, the brake pad sensor that is right here. And this one pretty much hooks up through here over to here into the actual brake pad. I already took it apart so you won't see it, but it clips right here, and there's a bracket here. Unhook it, tuck it away, and then this one hooks up to the actual actuator for the brakes. I'm gonna tuck that away. Then you want to take these two bolts over here, which are going to be 18 millimeters. Take them apart. Actually, I take that back. The ones at the bottom are 18 millimeters. You need and there's two of them. Small one goes at the bottom, big one goes at the top. You're gonna use some brute force and an 18 millimeter socket to be able to get them off. Then you're going to remove these up top. Okay, basically you put these back on, slide them as close as you can so you can fit it back in the rotor. So give yourself a little bit of wiggle room, and then basically just slide. It's me again. Sorry about I look a little rough just because I've been working on this, but something that I ran into, and you guys probably experience this, I don't know. Basically, I have the computer that allows me to release or close out the actuator for the brakes. That way I can replace them and work on it. However, even though I used it, it gave me the okay, everything sounded like it was working. For some reason, it went back up and it closed up again. So as I was working on the other side, I got done to it, and when I wanted to put it back, I couldn't because it was locked up. And as you know, it's super strong. You won't be able to do it by hand like you do in the front brakes. So essentially what I had to do is basically take the actuator out, detach it, and then with a torque, I think it's an M or a torque, I'll tell you here in just a bit, basically unscrewed it manually and was able to use a clamp and then open it back up. So that's the manual mode that a lot of people do. That's the hack, to not use the computer. So I'll go over that here in just a bit. So, and this is basically what the actuator looks like, and you need a T45 to be able to unwind it, and you basically just unwind it manually. You slide it in there and unwind it until it locks up on you. You will not be able to, no matter what, uncompress that piston by hand. So this is the little hack if you don't have the computer. Now if you want the easy way, you can follow the link in the description, get it, and you should be able to do most maintenance stuff to your Porsche. Most Porsches actually. For somewhat reason, mine, when I did it to release, it went back in. It went back up and it locked up again. I don't know if I've inadvertently might have pressed the brake as I was doing it. I don't know, but I'm having to do it manually even though I have the computer. So to avoid this step in the process, make sure that you do it correctly and you verify before you start taking everything apart. Okay, so now it is open. And this seat's on top. basically this is my hack. I went ahead and used one of these. I used the old brake pad, the soft part of it, onto a rag, so I don't want to damage any part of the mechanism. And then over here on this side, and basically I'm just gonna screw it until it pushes the piston back in. Since I manually unwinded it, then this should be an easy process. So it falls perfectly. What is that on my face? I have no idea how I always get grease on my face when I work on the car, but done. It did the job. Alright, so the next step is to be able to brush this off and get all the rust out, because if you don't, all the YouTube police are gonna be in the comment section blasting on why I didn't do it. So this time around, I'm doing it. There you go. That's just to please you all. No, but you do have to do it because it does help you clean it off and then dry it out nice and smooth, so when you apply the anti-seize grease, it has a better effect long term when it's the next time around to change your brakes. Cleaned up with, and then some anti-seize cream, or as I call it, anti-seize goodness. Now we gotta put this puppy over there. Now somebody on Instagram just hit me up and told me that there's actually better friction or better stopping power if I just get rotors with slots instead of drilled holes, because this allows to cool down, but this actually wears down on the actual brake. I don't know how true that is, if it is or isn't. I don't know. If you know the answer to that, please leave it in the comment, as I'd be curious to find out if I should go slotted next time, or drilled, or just OEM. I don't know. So leave your comments, let me know what you think, and hopefully that will shed some light to other Macan owners that are watching this video. Okay, so these are the things that I want to point out so you don't make the same mistake that I made. Basically, you have this little bracket that holds this to here, and you have this sliding bolt that it's a two-part mechanism that allows you to plug this in and slide it through here, and it goes into here. So normally you put a wrench here and then you untighten this. Problem that I had is that, you know, most people are used to tighten it to the right and then losing it to the left. The problem is that the screw is facing the other way, so that applies backwards. Well, I kept turning it left to be able to untighten it, and ended up breaking this loose inside this bolt. So now I have to wait for that to arrive. Anthony at the local Porsche dealer hooked me up and was able to find me one right away and then ship it over a couple days, but it's still a $60 replacement. So this is made out of aluminum, so just remember, a lot of your bolts and a lot of your parts in your Porsche are made out of aluminum. Why? Because they save weight. However, they are very fragile, so be careful with this. So full disclosure, be careful with these bolts. So anything that you do on your Macan, if it's a DIY, pay attention, because these bolts are not cheap. So moving on, I'm gonna put this back together and then I'll show you some more. So this is what I got from Porsche Oklahoma City. This is one of the parts that I broke, but they sent me an entire kit that does not fit. Pretty much every bolt for that car, for the brake caliper, except for the one I need. They even sent me the boots and the grease that comes with the brake pad kit. but that is not what I need. So Porsche dealer is closed, so I can't exchange it or return it, and I can't order the right one. So I'm gonna go hunt down a Volkswagen dealer and see if I could find a Volkswagen part that is similar to the one I need. So we'll find out. See, I just need the sliding pin that goes here because the one that I have is broke. We are at Napa Auto Parts. We're gonna try our luck here and see what's up. You are not gonna believe this. So I found the part at Napa, but it's not a Porsche part. It's actually a Chevy part. So I guess I'm gonna have a Chevy part after all. Go figure. Alright, so this is the Audi part. This is the part that I broke. As you see, we've been drilling it, trying to salvage this, but it's just not working. And this is the Chevy part. 300143130 in the box. It says 83297 caliper hardware kit. Identical size. Same bolt, same everything. Top one is a little different, but this fits in here. I tried it already, so we're gonna get to this. Fits like a glove. Perfect. That's all we needed to do. Done, finally. Now you know, fellas. I got a Chevy bolt in my car. Well, I got an extra one. In case any of y'all need it, hit me up on Instagram or YouTube. I'd be more than glad to give it to you. Or just go to your local Napa store. And I got grease on my face again. There it is. All back together. It fits like a glove. Perfect. Don't make the mistake I made. Remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, but this is facing the other way. So if you go this way, you tighten it. If you go this way, you unscrew it. Don't be like me.